I'll never forget this one day. My boss comes walking into my office, and the first thing out of his mouth was, "Sue, what the hell are you doing?" You see, I was standing on top of my desk. And so I told him, I need a clear picture. So I'm being an eagle. And he just looked at me and he's like, I can't, I don't know what to do with you. Eagles are very sacred, birds. They're very, very sacred to the native people. Their feathers, all right, they're feathers that you see them wear in their headdress a lot of times, or in the bustles, or in the fans that they use in ceremony. All right, they use this to take their prayers up to spirit. That's what eagles are known for, is taking the prayers, taking your prayers to spirit. All right. And if you ever really watch, right, the dancers in ceremony, and they have 2 or 3 feathers at the top, right, they're always moving. They're loose and they're moving in the dance. And this really is for the person to be able to have their prayers taken to spirit. Right? So, and this is like I said, why the feathers are viewed as being very sacred. Now there is a tribe. I'm going to tell a story here, and I'm going to tell you a story about this tribe that was up in the Northwest. Okay. And, there was the chief's son, he really, really, really wanted to go out and seek adventure. And he wanted to do something grand to make his father really, really proud of him. So he took his bow and he took his arrows and he headed out, leaving the village. And he asked the eagle to come with him on this venture. So the eagle sets out, flying behind the sun, and he's going along. Now, as he's hiking in the woods, all right, he comes across the great bear in the woods, and the great bear is in the water. All right, he's in the water and he's looking around the water, and and so the son, he goes, this boy goes, "Great bear, what do I need to do to show my strength and my courage?" Now, the bear is not having anything to do with the boy whatsoever. He's busy trying to get that salmon that's in the water. He sees a fresh salmon. He's not getting distracted at all. So a little frustrated, just a little frustrated. He goes, okay. Now the eagle wants to know what is this boy or this bear doing in the water? So he flies over and he notices the reflection of the moon in the water. He's like, "That's it. That's what we need to do." He goes back and he tells the boy, "What we need to do is get the moon and bring it to your father." Yeah. Now the boy was so overwhelmed with joy on this idea of bringing his father and his people the moon. He's like, "Yeah, that's exactly what I will do. Exactly." So what he does, he gets the eagle to fly him to the top of the tallest mountain. The eagle flies him up there. Then he takes his bow out and he takes that arrow and he shoots it at the moon. And the arrow lands right in the middle of the moon. And he shoots another arrow and that lands in notch of the first arrow. And he keeps doing this for 365 arrows so that he can climb up to the moon. He created a ladder. He climbs up there. And he's there on the moon with the eagle. And he looks over and he sees the sun. And he's like, oh, eagle, I'm going to bring the sun and the moon to my father. So he collects all those arrows and he shoots them into the sun and pulls the sun now, this time to him. He tucks the moon under one arm and the sun under the other. Okay, the moon and the sun. And the eagle flies them back to the village. Okay. Now the chief looks up and he's overwhelmed with pride and joy that his son brought him the moon and the sun. So in honoring of his son, he's going to have a feast. But first he puts the moon and the sun in the lodge. All right. In their special lodge. So then what starts to happen is the luminosity of the sun and the moon are shining through the thatch of the roof. Okay, shining through that thatch. And so it's a little sparkly, don't you think? So the raven sees that sparkle and he just, ravens love sparkle. So he flies over and he's on top of the roof looking through the thatch and says, oh, look at that. It's the sun, it's the moon. Oh my goodness. I have to have that. I have to have that sun and that moon. So the raven steals it. He flies through that thatch of the roof and he grabs the sun and he grabs that moon and he flies back to his cave in the mountains, high in the mountains. He flies through that peak opening and he goes in. Now, leaving the world in darkness, leaving every darkness. And the son feeling like he failed his father or something. He did this great thing, but yet now look what happens. He leaves the whole world in darkness because of bringing this back. So with the people of the village being in despair, he decided he's got to go after that raven. And again, the young boy asked the eagle for his help. And the eagle said, of course, I'm going to be there with you. Of course, I'm going to find this for you. And he sets out flying over the mountains and looking. Now, as he's flying over the mountains looking for that raven's home, the raven now in his home, he has the moon and the sun and it's shining up through that peak hole, right? Now, that raven, he's known for stealing shiny things. He's a thief, He had these beautiful boxes that he already stole from the people the week before, all right? And so he decided he was going to put the moon in one box and the sun in another box. So he lifts the lid and puts the moon in, and the moon fits just perfect. That's great. Well, the thing was, when he lifted the lid to put the sun in the box, it didn't fit. It didn't fit at all. Not one bit. So that kind of pissed off the raven a little bit, pissed him off, and he was mad, taking that sun and hammering it down, trying to get it into that box. And pieces are just falling off, just falling everywhere, making a mess. But finally, he gets it in the box and he's like, finally, and he puts the lid on it. He looks down at all the other pieces and he scoops them up and he puts them in another box and puts the lid on it. By this time, the eagle found the opening to the cave. And he flies in and he starts fighting that raven. They get into a nasty fight. And of course, the eagle wins. Hands down, eagles. They're tough. They're warriors, you know. So that eagle wins. And he sees the boxes and he lifts the one lid up. And the moon goes back into the sky. He lifts the next box lid and the sun goes back. He sees that third box and he takes the lid off of that box. And all these little tiny pieces of the sun, they floated up into the sky as well, bringing the stars in the heavens and creating the cosmos, and bringing that light to the people. Oh, now the people are happy. They have light, they can see, and they can see such joy. And everything comes back into order. And to remember this moment, the chief, what he does is he carves what they call a totem pole. He puts himself at the bottom of the pole. He puts some sun above him. And above the sun, he put the bear. And above the bear, he put that salmon. And above the salmon, he put the eagle, to honor the eagle for bringing back that light. So, with that story in mind that you just heard, what's your take on that story? What do you get from that story of the eagle? And how do you see the eagle? Anyone? Am I going to have to call on someone? Kathy with a C.
I was thinking, well, a couple of things which were new for me for the eagle was that it could be we could have a personal relationship with the eagle, that it wasn't just lofty and with spirit, but also it could be in our lives and assist us. And then the other thing was like the indomitable spirit. It's like there was no hesitation to do these tremendous things, and the power and the courage and just not hesitating to do what the eagle believed was the right thing to do.
Thank you. Anyone else? John, I know you have something there. It's percolating above your head. I can see it.
Sure. I was thinking about boundaries. With the eagle, it seems like he's the one that finally shuts all of the madness with the boxes down to get things into their right order. I just appreciate kind of certain character that each of the animals have in these origin stories. And the more we hear of them, the more we start to piece together these character traits and whatnot. And I love that the raven shows up in that story as well to kind of add some humor, and that shows that all of these animals are working together, all connected. And there are reappearances, there are reemergences in these stories, despite cultural or geopolitical boundaries. Like, these stories still are interconnected. So that's beautiful. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else before I move on? Have something to share?
This is Laura Del Monte. What I got is that, yes, we are all one and we all have an important part in it. But above all, I just felt the eagle was the one who saw the overall picture, and wisdom is the word that came to me.
Yes, the eagle brought a lot of wisdom in there. I think the eagle also demonstrated no fear, no fear whatsoever. And he was willing to fight for what he believed in. Now, with eagles, their eyesight embodies an all-seeing eye, okay? Eagles are often a solar symbol, all right? And they can be linked to all the sun gods, or the sky gods, I should say. The eagle will stare straight into the sun, all right? And in fact, he will even hold his young ones up, just, when they're born. They'll hold them up and have them stare into that sun. Now, if their young ones don't stare into the sun, what happens is they get thrown out of the nest. Okay, because they didn't have the ability, right, to stare in directly into God's face. Right? The eagle is connected by that being able to stare into the sun, as in to be able to stare at the face of God, creator, source, spirit. Okay. And this is something that is, to me, extremely powerful. All right. That eyesight, the eagle, they have incredible eyesight. It's not 20/20 like human, it's 25. They can see 2 miles down a road, all right, or 2 miles. I don't know what that is in meters, but it's a good distance. All right. So also, the other thing that is interesting to me is that when the eagle is old, right, when they get old and their eyesights are getting clouded over their eyes, right, and their feathers are getting a little heavy, what they do is they'll fly right into the sun. They'll start flying towards that sun, directly into it. And what happens for him or her is the sun burns away that mist that's over their eyes, all right? It burns the old feathers off. It youths them. And as soon as that is done, all right, as soon as that happens, the eagle then flies and he'll plunge into the water 3 times. Okay, 3 times. So not only does he youth himself by doing that, now when their beaks, the eagle's beaks, continuously grow. And as they're getting older, right, they get to a point where they can't open their beak, they can't eat anymore. And so what they do with their beak is they will break it. They will take their beak and they will knock it against a rock or something hard to break the beak, so it will regrow. Now, that's a lot of pain, don't you think? Keep knocking something off to break your beak in order to use. So let me ask you this question now. What pain What type of pain are you willing to grow, to go through, to grow to youth? Where is in your life, what type of pain are you willing to go through to youth your own self? Or is that something that is beyond you? It's just something to ponder. Okay. Just to ponder with. Now, eagles, they have talons. Their feet, their fingers, they're called talons. Now they have four toes, all right? Eagles have 4 toes. So what does this mean, 4 toes? It means the eagle brings support and stability, all right? They're very grounding. As well as the fact that they can fly, they're also very grounding for us because of the 4 of being of the stability, all right? So not only does the eagle take our messages to the creator, but brings us support from them with messages from the creator to us. Okay, it supports us on the physical and on the emotional and on the mental. If you notice an eagle flying, all right, in real time or even in dream time, it's time to take an inward look. All right, it's time to take a look inward, you know, to your inward voice, to listen to your intuition. All right, listen to your intuition. To watch this eagle totem from a perch, where he's on a perch, and he shows you your ability to, you know, fly. You know, he's on the perch, he flies. He's showing you that ability to rise above the situation, all right? You take a broader view of what's going on in your circumstances. Allow that higher consciousness to guide you, right? So has anybody gotten here, have really gotten to see an eagle just on a branch, on a tree, just take off? You know, that feeling of watching them take off is so incredible to me because it's effortless. They glide and they fly so peacefully. And do you realize that the wingspan of an eagle can be up to 5 feet? It's like, take your arms, put them all the way out, and then a little bit further, just a little bit further. That is the wingspan of an eagle. It's impressive, don't you think? And especially when they can glide so, and they go higher than any other bird. They rise above situations. Okay. So when I worked in corporate America, let's say, it was really interesting for me because, you see, I was always the black sheep of my family, but I was also the black sheep of the corporation as well. All right, it was always funny to me because, you see, I worked in the marketing department and I needed always to get a different perspective of things and find different ways to look at things. So I'll never forget this one day. My boss comes walking into my office and the first thing out of his mouth was, "So what the hell are you doing?" You see, I was standing on top of my desk. I would climb up on my desk and I would stand there with my arms crossed and I'd be looking around the room and I'd be looking at my work down on the desk and things like that. And I just started laughing when he said, "What the hell am I doing?" You know, I said, well, I needed to change my perspective. And I literally needed to change my perspective. Now, can you imagine if I sat on the floor looking up? You know, he might have found that more acceptable sitting on the floor. But then if I was sitting on the floor looking up, I would be in overwhelm, don't you think? Because there's so much up there. I'd be in overwhelm. So I'm standing on my desk looking around the room. Now, I do this at home too, but I admit I do it at work. And so I told him, I need a clear picture. So I'm being an eagle. And he just looked at me and he's like, I can't, I don't know what to do with you. And I was like, well, just give me some time. I'll come up with the right idea and we'll go to work. It doesn't take long standing on your desk, looking around the room to come up with an idea. So I invite you all to try it sometime, because I'll tell you, when you get stuck and you don't know which direction to go, you have to change your perspective. And if you're an outdoors person, you can always climb a tree. Yeah, that's fun to do too. Now, if you see the eagle going into a deep dive or a swoop in your dreams or in real time, this can mean deception. So take a look at what's going around you. All right, are you being deceitful or being a little deceptive to your circumstances to change your life? Or are others around you not being forthcoming? Yeah. Take a look at where that might be. Now, this totem, this eagle, all right, is on the offense and it attacks. It's time, if it's doing that, it's time to reevaluate and perceive your limitations. You know, are you giving yourself self-imposed boundaries, or you're limiting yourself some way? You know, you could be very well be what is holding you back in your growth and what you're doing. Very much so. All right. So what I would like to do, if we don't have any questions, I would love to play an eagle song for you. Now, this eagle song, for me, is a very, very special memory. This eagle song, all right, is really, truly a song that was played at Earth Dance. Earth Dance is a ceremony that used to happen every year out in Arizona, in the US, and down in Mexicali, Mexico. All right. And when I got to drum in Mexicali, Mexico, and drum this song with the drummers down there, there was a young man who was incredible, just incredible, because when he danced to this song, he was no longer dancing, really. He was flying, he was soaring around that. And I could see the eagle flying with him and being with him so much. So this is why I would like to share this particular song with you. It's a Lakota song, all right? And it's So I'm going to share my screen. Wait 1 second here. Okay. So that was the Eagle Song by the Red Shadow Singers. I hope you enjoyed it. It's one of my favorite songs to do at Earth Dance and different ceremonies. You know, the eagle is one of those totems, one of those animals that is so known for being a warrior, so known for fighting for justice and fighting for what's right in their mind's eye. Because of that connection, that ability to be able to see the face of spirit and be able to go into that the eagle is the only bird of prey that can fight in the air, for its prey, fight on land, and dive into the water for its prey, for its food. That is the only bird of prey that can do that. Because she has no fear. There's no fear with that eagle. They just move through things so greatly. And how they mate, how the female selects her mate that she wants is to me kind of interesting as well. You see, she'll get a little stick, all right, and she'll fly high up in the air and she'll drop the stick, okay? She'll drop it. And the males, they fight to catch that stick. And then she'll get a bigger stick and she'll fly up and drop it. And then she gets a bigger one yet and drops it. Why do you think she's doing this? Anybody? Come on, somebody's got to be able to tell me why she would be dropping a stick and having these men catch it.
To witness the stamina, the force, and the desire to get consistently keeping our eyes on the prize.
Maybe that sounds really kind of good, but no. What she's doing is she wants to be able to make sure whoever she mates with can catch that baby if it falls out of the nest. All right? If her child falls out of the nest, she's got to make sure he can go get it before it hits the ground. Yeah. So that's test number one. They have such an intricate play in mating. All right. Now, many people think how they copulate is in the air, but that's not how they do it. You see, they do have courtship rituals, all right? And one of the courtships is they fly up in the air and they'll lap talons, and they do these cartwheels, all right? These cartwheels, and turn each other over and over as they're coming down to the earth, as they're falling. They're spinning and spinning and spinning. And they'll unlock just before they get close to the ground. Now, there are times that they didn't quite unlock and they actually hit the ground spinning. Sad, but it's true. Now, another courtship that they do is, they chase each other. They fly and chase. So, and when they're flying and chasing, they'll catch each other's talons as well and do these aerial spins. So beautiful. And then they do a roller coaster flight. All right, a roller coaster flight is they fly up so high, they're flying, and he's chasing her, and then she'll dive down, and he will chase her, and then she'll go up, and it's just like that roller coaster, So this is just part of it. Now, because the eagle mating, all right, is associated with such danger, don't you think it's a little dangerous to lock and roll and spin and up and down and dive. It's a little dangerous. There's excitement there, right? So their mating process is associated with danger and excitement. It's that power of that sexual energy with that mystical joy, okay? All right? So eagle medicine may be having a message to you about your sexuality, about telling you to open up to new sexual experiences, to bring some thrills and new heights and new pleasures. So that's part of it. Now, as the pair gets closer to copulating, all right, you know, they'll wrap up those aerial displays. Instead, they focus more on an intimate side of things. And their behaviors are a little bit different now. They might sit in the nest, shoulder to shoulder. All right, they will call each other and keep calling and back and forth to each other. And when the female feels like she's ready, she will solicit this male to mate with her by calling him and bowing to him. That's when he knows it's okay, it's time. And what he'll do is he'll climb on top of her back and he'll line himself up, you know, and she'll move her tail feathers just so. So they will do this several times a day in the breeding process, okay, during that breeding season. And, you know, the male will stay there to help incubate the eggs and raise the little eaglets, you know, they'll stay there. Now, in some cases, all right, you know, the eagles pair, you know, they might not mate in that first year. They might not breed in that first year. Instead, they spend, you know, several times and several years sometimes together looking at different locations and possibly assessing each other, you know, before having a child. It's amazing, don't you think? That this pair might get together and they go, oh, I like you, but I'm not sure if I want to have a kid with you yet. It's pretty amazing to me. You know, eagles, they mate for life, but there is a very slight percentage of divorce in the eagle, believe it or not. It's like maybe 5% or something along those lines. You know, it's interesting. But what's the other thing that's interesting about an eagle's marriage is it's not always between one male and one female. Not at all. Because there's possible triads, one male and two females, you know, believe it or not. And those 3 adult eagles will raise more than one child, right? Will raise a few, and all 3 are responsible of going and feeding and taking care of them. You know, it's quite amazing to me. You know, this happens in this world. And that. Any questions? Any comments? Any insights? You guys are a quiet group of people. Quiet group tonight. Okay. So what I would like you to do at this point is we'll do a quick, maybe not, meditation. All right, we'll do a meditation with the eagle in mind. So what I would like you all to do is just take a deep breath and close your eyes. Just relax, close your eyes. All right. And what you're going to do is you're going to fill your lungs completely and then slowly, slowly let out the air. All right. All right. And take another deep breath. And this time, as you're letting out the air, I want you to take notice of your stomach muscles relaxing. Okay. And then take another deep breath. And as you exhale, notice that the weight that you've had on your chest leaving your body, just leaving. And your body coming into that relaxed state. And as your body relaxes, I want you to notice that your arms are now they're slowly forming and becoming wings, the wings of the eagle. Yes. Hear that, and you can hear the breeze coming through and hearing those feathers just flopping ever so lightly in the breeze. Feel that for yourself. You find yourself on a perch, that you're sitting on this perch of a tree. And you're going to push yourself off and you're going to begin to soar high into the sky. And you're going to notice how easy it is to glide through the air, feeling confident. And your courage as you begin to find your flight to the sun. Yes, you're going to go to the sun. And as you begin this flight, you look down and you see all those things in your life at a new perspective. And you realize how small they truly are. Not so big. They're small. And you see how you can look at it so differently from a different view. And as we're getting closer and closer to the sun, we start feeling our strength, our strengthening within ourselves, showing all the old energies that have held us back being burned away as we fly through the sun, flying through the sun, breathing slowly in the messages that are coming to you from the Creator, because we see the face of Source, the Creator Spirit, to receive your message for you. Gather up all those messages that Spirit has for you. Breathe slowly, allow them to come to you, these messages, in that peaceful space, knowing where you are and who you are. Beginning with these messages just for you. All these messages gathering for you. Notice how much easier it is to fly and glide through the air. We start to begin our journey back to this realm, back to this place. And as we come back, we begin our dive into the ocean, washing and cleansing our new being. We go deep into the ocean and then we come back up, shooting up into the sky, and the water splashing off our feathers and our wings. High into the air we go, rolling, doing our own acrobats, flying back into the water. diving deep, going deeper and deeper into the water, then just to come back up into the air and allowing that water to drip off their fingers and our feathers. And we do this one more time into the water and then back up. And as we're washing and cleansing, knowing we have the strength and the courage of the eagle, for he is you and you are him. And you can fly. You can change the perspective of all things. You have that courage. And the messages given to you by Creator Source are for you and for your ears. Know at this point, you can go back anytime to renew yourself, to seek messages, and to hear what is needed to be heard for you. And now it's time to come back to the here and now. So I invite you to wiggle your toes and wiggle your eyes and nose and ears. And when you're ready, open your eyes and come on back. Deep, deep breath. So Annette, how is that for you?
I like it very much, and I even can feel the breeze and the water on my skin and all over my body. It was very making me sparkling.
Sparkling. Ah, very good. Did anybody receive a message that they would like to actually share with the group? John, your head's bobbing up and down.
Don't be afraid to reach for the light. Don't be afraid to soar. And when it is the time to let go, don't be afraid as you let go.
That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
Mm-hmm.
And Kathy with a K, how is that for you?
It's nice to be reconnected to Eagle.
Yeah.
You forget when they're not around. I was on an island for a long time and they were always there, and it's nice to be reconnected.
Yeah. Thank you. Stephanie, how about you? You see a lot of eagles up there, don't you?
We do have a lot of eagles on this island. In fact, there's a spawning season that happens near the Horseshoe Bay Ferry, which is in Nanaimo. It connects Vancouver to Nanaimo. About an hour away from that, you can see about 400 eagles in this one particular bay. And I was reflecting a lot on that and how lucky I must be to be able to see these wonderful creatures at large numbers like that. During your meditation, I didn't really receive a specific message, but I had a bit more confidence in just listening to my own wisdom.
That's
harnessing my power again.
excellent.
Intuition.
Excellent. Yeah, that's what Eagle brings us. It brings us into our own intuition, our power, and to allow us to get into who we are and to learn our boundaries, when to set them, when to stand up and when to sit back. All right. And this is one of the things that I truly treasure about an eagle, you know, because eagles, they're not afraid of anything. They'll do it. They're there. They'll do it. That's why when standing on my desk and I said, I'm being an eagle to my boss, you know, I think that is, for myself, was courageous because, you know, here I am in a Fortune 500 company, and this guy comes in, and he's like looking at me thinking, oh my God, I hired a lunatic, you know? But I felt brave enough to be myself, to be able to get a different perspective on something that they needed and use the tools that I had. Okay. So that is our class for tonight, actually. I know it's supposed to go a little bit longer, but you guys are so quiet for me tonight. So I would like to take a moment here, if I may. I want to talk about the up and coming class this next month. All right. And, you know, typically, if you know me well enough, you're going to know that I love totems, and I love painting, and I love putting the color and the totem together. And we go deeper in totems and what their meanings and what they can do in this course. And it's called Totem Language Wheel. All right? Because you're going to work with me for 6 days, 3 hours a day, next month, if you're inclined to. And we're going to go deep, and we're going to cover 30 animals. All right? 30 spirit animals. And we're going to go into the color of these animals, different colors. Now, just imagine, you're given a speech, all right? And, or you need to talk in a company or some event, you're talking and you're scared, you're nervous. Now, just imagine if you had harnessed the power of the horse, a blue horse, because blue is all about communication. So you have that blue horse and you emanate it from your throat, right? And you hold that energy. You are going to be so powerful in that communication. It's going to be amazing. Because not only will you have that power to communicate, but you're also going to be gentle. Horses are gentle creatures, right? They speak also with body language, you know? And you're going to be able to read the body language as well of your audience. Much, much so. All right? So if you have a calling, if you really have a calling to learn more about totems and study with them and work with them, this is a course for you. Because you see, this course is probably one of the few courses out there that allows you to do something with the energy of the totem. All right? People pick up decks of cards and they study and they learn about the totems and they go, oh wow, a spider crossed my path today. I must take a look at what it is about communication. Are they not hearing me? Or is, you know, this is what spider is about communication, correct? Okay. That's what most people learn, is what they're about, and take a look at how and reflect about how it affects you. But now we have a tool. We have a great tool where you can learn not only what the animal's about, but how to use that spirit animal in creating what it is that you want, creating a world that you want. You know, we can use a wheel, a spiral, with seven totems in that wheel. And what that wheel does is it creates a personal wheel for ourselves to take our chakras, our energy, working it with the totem and moving it forward to strengthen us, to help us move forward in our lives with specific colors as well, all right, that create different energies. And then we can learn to emanate these energies, like what I said with the horse, with the blue horse, all right? Then, just seven? No, we have to use a master number of 22. 22, using 22 totems in a spiral, in a wheel, with the elements, all right? To shift the energies, not only for ourselves to bring in things, but also to create community wheels, right? I like to call them spirit wheels, you know, because every time we write something for ourselves, let's say we write a wheel because we need to shift and manifest cash in our life, okay? Great. We're shifting and we're manifesting cash. But we also have to give back to spirit. So we write another wheel. So I like writing spirit wheels. And in fact, I wrote one and I posted it not too long ago for the women here in Malaysia to be able to step up into their power a little bit more, all right? And I wrote one for the natural environment in England, you know, not to lose it, to be able to keep. And there's so many things that we can write for, all right? So this is what's so special about the totem wheel language class, totem language wheel class, is it's something that you can do with the totem besides looking at the totem and saying, oh, wow, did you see that today? Wow, I saw a deer running across the road. Oh my goodness. And it was being chased by a turtle. What does a turtle and a deer mean? I gotta go look it up. Okay? So it's learning more about what you can do with it and how you can use this and harness this energy for something else than just looking at those little signs. So I would love for everyone to be able to join me in that class next month. If you're interested, what I'm going to do is I'm going to type here in the chat. John, would you type that for me? You know, put the link in there. John is actually a person that has gone through the Totem Language Wheel class, and so has Gerlinda, but she hasn't completed everything yet. Gerlinda, she's been a bad girl. She didn't complete everything yet. But I think Gerlinda is one of those people that would love more so, instead of doing it go as your own pace, but have someone there. You see, I do have this set up online, all right, where you can go at your own pace, all right, and do that. But I'm going to be honest with you, I don't think many people like to finish that, go at your own pace. They sign up, but they don't necessarily finish it. So I encourage you to actually do it live with me on Zoom. And I want to give everybody a little incentive tonight, just a little incentive. If you join up, if you come and join this class with me next month, and you do this within 24 hours, you will receive a very special gift, all right, you'll receive the online class of the totem pole technique. Now, the totem pole technique is a very special technique. It was designed by Star Fuentes, and it's put together. I put it together in such a way that you can go through this online, this one at your own pace, and you will get this free if you join up within the next 24 hours and take the totem language wheel class. That's my little dangly, sparkly raven thing, okay? So I would love for all of you to join me. And if you have any questions at all, you can unmute, ask away, or send me an email, send me a text, and I'll be happy to answer you. So,
Sue,
yes.
I'm curious how this is it how it relates to light language. Like, are we doing some of the same things? Like we can you said emanate.
Yeah, in light language, in sacred geometry, in light language, you can emanate the shapes and color. In the totem language wheel, you'll be able to emanate the totem with the color as well. All right, you can emanate that very, very much so. And emanating is very much, you're emanating the totem from the chakra, all right? And it allows that energy, that particular energy, to go out and hold and take place in a room, in a situation. You can actually change the energy of a room by emanating this totem or in color. Now, there in the 7 shape, in the Totem Language 101, because in this class you're going to get both the Totem Language 101 and 200 next month, and in the 101 it's the seven chakra colors that you're going to be working with, just much like beginning light language. And then the 22 shape, or 22 totems, you're gonna get much more colors than you can imagine, and you're gonna get to work with, and it's amazing, Kathy. It's amazing work. John, why don't you give a testimony, if you don't mind, or a thought on this class?
Sure thing. So before I became a healer, I was a natural resource policy guy, and I provided environmental education to thousands of kids across the United States. And I was always looking for a tool to take nature education to the next level by helping to connect with my students in a deeper, more real way. Additionally, I felt like there are these teachers around us all the time. Oh, there's an eagle, students, look at that. But they weren't able to get the essence of what that animal was teaching us in the framework of a formal classroom. So I decided to reach out to Sioux, become trained as a healer, and when Totem Language Wheel showed up into my life, I thought, Eureka, this is the connection between nature and healing for me. So when an animal comes in, if I'm working with a client, it's quite clear that that presence is in the room or in the field of the client, and I can discuss it with him, but also make new connections about how that animal is interacting in its environment, how that animal gets what it needs, courtship rituals and whatnot, to help bring the breakthrough into the client's life. It's a fabulous tool that blends such a biodiverse planet, all of our animals, all of these flora and fauna, with light, with color. What is it, up to up to 144 colors you can get in this lineage.
Yeah,
Phenomenal.
but not in this, this wheel. Not in this wheel. So thank you, John. And there are some amazing colors that you can work with and with these totems. And I can't say enough about the course. I really, this is a signature course. This is something that I truly put a lot of heart and soul into developing and working with the Mayan lineage holder Star Fuentes. And I have to say thank you to all my teachers right now who I have worked with and studied with and learning about totems over the years. And I want to say thank you to their teachers as well. You know, it's very important to honor our teachers and our teachers' teachers and to show them the love and respect that we have for them. And if nobody has any questions, it seems like you guys like to hang out and stay, you know. Yes, Gerlinda?
Hey, Sue.
Hey, Gerlinda.
When you will start with this class?
This class actually starts, that's a good question. It starts August. It starts in the second week of August. And it is, the actual dates are August 13th and 14th is the first day. Then the 20th and 21st, the 27th and 28th. All right, it's 3 hours each day. And John has put in the chat the link, stormshine.com totem wheel, if you want to read more on it and see if it resonates with you a little bit more. So, and thank you for asking, Gerlinda.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And that. All right, people. I would like to say thank you to all of you for showing up and staying. And I will look forward to hearing from you if you have any questions. And may you have a wonderful day. And I will look forward to seeing you all together another time.